Hey, happy, beautiful, amazing day. Dr. Bob Rakowski here. I had a great conversation with a friend, and I'm happy to say that there is some level of hope. I hope all of you realize that there always has been, at least for certain segments of the population. Quick background on me, I've been in clinical practice right at about 30 years, treated world champions from every major professional sport. Also have treated the other end of the spectrum, and I've taught doctors all over the world. But here's what I tell you: don't follow what I tell you or anybody else. Follow your heart, follow your gut. If you learn to listen to yourself, I believe you'll make good decisions. But this is a box of 1,000 squares. And you know what? Most people don't know 1,000 people. So the question I would ask you is, do you know someone personally that died from this virus? Now, people that work in the hospital, they see the extreme cases. I have a niece that saw someone in her 20s die, and that is beyond tragic. And we have a way of describing that. The perfect storm of real bad stuff was going on in her body, and she didn't recognize it, right? If you look at the probability of dying in your 20s, what is it, 1 in 1 million, 1 in 10 million? And by the way, get real data about how many people extra died on planet Earth. And John Hopkins, who was part of that simulation with Bill Gates, so in the mix of information from the beginning, they actually published something that said there were no extra deaths, no extra deaths. Then they retracted it. Harder to find that data, but here's a question. Do you know anybody that died? How beat down does a person have to be in that 3 in 1,000? So there's a pretty good question. And the next question is, does this shot work? Is there an immune benefit? And if yes, for how long? And you can look at the inserts, you can check it out deep. I listened to a speaker yesterday. He said 2 of them last 14 days, one lasts 28 days. I think most people have been told they need a booster. But if your risk is 3 in 1,000 and it lasts at most a month, and we don't know the downside, right? If you ask, what is the downside? Unknown, 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 unknown. Lots of speculation. A lot of people saying bad stuff. Here's the reality. We don't know. Here's a risk we do know, 3 in 1,000. Here's a risk we don't know. How long does it last? 28 days. Verify that. That's the best one, by the way. 2 at 14 days, 1 at 28 days. So here was an insightful conversation that I had with a friend, Dr. Emoto's water consciousness. And that, by the way, is a picture of water crystal when it's exposed to love. It might be worth looking at that, experiencing that. But here's the deal. We are mostly water. And I talked to a very insightful friend. He said, Bob, if people have a very hopeful mindset when they receive it and become more hopeful afterwards, maybe for some it will have a benefit. If you go in fearful, that probably is not the best state to be in to go into an experiment. And prayer can definitely work. Whatever your thoughts are about God or life, prayer works on water. I've seen it work in my life. I've seen it work in a lot of people's lives. Maybe give it a shot. Might be a good thing. I always like to wrap up with these words. I'm Dr. Bob Rakowski, absolutely knowing that we can all be happy, healthy, and successful. And by the way, Tuesdays on my public figure page, I do have a Ask the Doctor Zoom. We do a health topic and then a Zoom. So I'll sign off with that and wish you all a beautiful, amazing day.